Hello there, and welcome to the 14th episode of my playthrough of Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers. As you can see, we're starting right in the action this time. I spent this session competing in the Super Cup of the Grand Prix, but for the first time so far, I quit out of it halfway through. I mentioned last time that I was struggling with Metal Knuckles and his atrocious handling, and this race was my breaking point. I decided that enough was enough. I needed some new blood, preferably someone where turning was something more than a blissful fantasy. That ended up being Carol, a Class B character with much better handling, and my god, it was like I had begun playing a completely different game. I'll skip past that initial mess, you're really not missing much, let me assure you, and instead move on to the attempt that I actually finished. The race you saw in the introduction was the first course of the Super Cup, Carnival Night. And as you could likely tell from that footage, it's a weird course no matter who you're playing as. You'll be launched into the air, spun around, made to crawl to a stop, and weirdly float in place, and I've got to be completely honest, it's utterly miserable. Even after I changed to a character who can actually handle the corners of the track, I still spent most of my time bouncing off walls, as you'll see throughout the next few minutes. In any other race, that would not have been a performance deserving of a first place. Luckily, if there's any course that's going to cause the AI trouble, it was that one, so I was able to cross the finish line long before anyone else, and with a strong A rank. The results screen helped me to understand who the competition was, as there were a few new faces, seeing that Carol has her own set of potential rivals. There's Male, who I saw hide nor hair of here or through the rest of the Super Cup, Surge, whose only claim to fame is the few seconds they kept up with me there, and Whisper, who, I didn't get on with Whisper, put it that way. That was the exact moment I realized the Whisper was going to be a problem. I have never seen a racer move that quickly off of the starting grid, and though she didn't keep the lead for long, it was not the last time she's going to beat me to something. Virtual Highway was the standout star of my recent SRB2 kart bins, and it's one of the most interesting stages in that game, both mechanically and aesthetically. But it has nothing on its appearance here, because, wow. I mean, what do I even mention? The skybox? The water effect? The colour scheme? It's beautiful, and it's amazing that I went from thinking ring races looked like it wanted me to puke while I was playing it, to being blown away by something like this. Engine from 1995, everyone. While I may now be able to play as a character who can potentially turn without drifting, huge turns like these are so difficult with how ring racers plays, especially when other racers drive you off the road and into the endless cyber void. The garden top is undoubtedly the worst item in the game, but the drop target is definitely second. Though I don't know Whisper's stats to be sure of this, I reckon a first was on the cards there, until of course, that. A B rank wasn't a bad result, but I felt it could have been better. Those last two prisons were an unfortunate blemish on a cyber arena, because there were a couple of good streaks there. Ooh, sorry Carol. Same about an OCD, but what can you do other than accept another B rank and move on? Voltage is a mechanic that I'm only just getting a handle on, but seeing as it apparently holds the key for hyperspeed land vehicles, I might need to do some more research on it. Typical of the Orbanaut, but there's some rings, so... Oh, come on!
What's the holdup?
It strains. I never get this feeling in Mario Kart or one of the Sega kart races, but every time something like that happens in ring races, I understand that it will as soon as I've let the item loose. This was the point that I started to dislike the way things were going. Because, so, I may have had an A rank and a full stash of rings, and that's good for getting into the next sealed star, but when that total ranking screen appeared, all I could see was Whisper reeling me in. Between the immediate forced respawn and the 2 explosions I was embroiled in by the end of the first half of the first lap, You've already seen all the most exciting moments of Spring Yard. I got thrown around a fair bit more after this, but half of that was the godforsaken bumpers.
What's the holdup? What's the holdup?
Practically to the pixel that the last one blew up on. I'd almost believe it was planned.
What's the holdup? It's not over yet. What's the holdup? You're gonna pay for that. What's the holdup?
Another second place as a runner-up to Whisper, and another race where I finished with an alright B rank, but by now, I had resigned myself to the fact that I was going to see that Satyr Red again at the final podium. At this point, my worries were instead whether I could keep my first place, because going into the final race, Whisper had closed the gap enough to leave just 2 points standing between us. If I was a little more content savvy and not as zealously tied to using graphic design to advertise this playthrough, I'd probably promote them with a compilation of all the random moments I'd momentarily break the sound barrier. I mean, it's happened something like 3 times already in this cup, and if you remember when Ring Races first released, I'd say moments like that made up half of the discussion on the game. I love it when my lob commands are ignored, and I love it even more when that probably causes me to fail to complete a full prison break round. Why is this the only command in the game that I can't trust will actually work? The only consolation I had for that happening is that seemingly all but one of the other races did exactly the same thing. I'm not sure about the logistics of a shield made out of fire working on a course that is maybe 40% partially or completely submerged underwater, but with my placement at the time, I wasn't going to argue with getting one of the best items in the game. Well, that was an atrocious performance with an entirely anticlimactic end. But I was actually fairly happy with the restart. I'd accepted a sealed star wasn't on the cards, but having to replay Labyrinth meant a second chance to deny Whisper the points he had scored on that attempt. I did a vertical trick with the intention of avoiding the starting line, but for whatever reason, still ended up pushed into it. That rival label being the first one across only made the injustice worse, and didn't instill any confidence that things were going to go better this time around. Oh, come on! Is it just me, or is there a serious case of deja vu permeating throughout this cup? I have to defend myself there. I did the horizontal trick motion but got no response. I may be dull, but even I could tell what I was supposed to do there.
It's not over yet. Sweet. What's the holdup? holdup? What's the holdup?
Well, that was an exciting end to that race, but it wasn't the result I was hoping for. A third place with Whisper taking pole position, and a D rank were not conducive to either of my goals, so I'm not going to keep you in suspense. I didn't make it into the Sealed Star, and as you can see, Whisper swooped in to take first place for the Super Cup. Except the first time that I haven't finished a cup in first, so it was the first time I heard of this song during the results screen. I had resigned myself to the fact that I was going to see that Satyr ride again at the final podium. What did I tell you? On the bright side, finishing the Super Cup did lock the Air Cup, which is good. I was a bit worried that I'd either have to skip forward a few cups or grind challenges to unlock it, but now I can continue the playthrough in the proper order. But I wasn't necessarily happy with finishing the session like that, disgraced and without a serious reward in my hands. So I figured I'd carry on for a while longer and look at continuing with some of my long-term plans. Hope you're enjoying this riveting set of gameplay. No, I didn't put my controller down with the item button jammed while I went to get a snack. This is the fastest way to collect rings in the game, which is an important bit of knowledge to have if you want to make the challenge collecting 99,999 rings go by any faster. I'd played ring races for just over 10 hours before I decided to do this, and in that time I had managed to collect about 36,000 rings. I didn't want to take another 20 hours to get the rest of them naturally, and a commenter told me doing this strategy would take something like 5 minutes, so I'll speed up this footage, and let's see how many I have by the time I finish. Alright, by this point, I had been sat on that panel for 5 minutes, and I hadn't heard the jingle that marks the completion of a challenge. So I went to my statistics to look at how many I had collected. 50,143 rings. That's a lot more than I had 5 minutes prior, but it also wasn't 99,999 of them. Yeah, I'll complete the challenge using that strategy, but I'll do it off screen and show you my reward at the start of the next episode. No one is going to want to watch another 20 minutes worth of that, and I've already got all the footage I could ever need of it, so I'm not going to bother recording it. After my ring bins, I decided to go and collect some more spray cans, or at the very least, collect one more spray can, because the only one I could remember the location of off at the top of my head was here on Dark Vile Castle Act 2. It's very high up above the main straight of the course, and I think the idea is that you need to be going very fast into that straight to jump off of a ramp and get the massive amount of height needed to reach it. But instead of doing that, I did my usual strategy of taking a spring with me and seizing the whole affair. It was a little tougher to get than most of the others I've collected this way because it's so high that you need to use a vertical trick to the very apex of your jump to have a chance of reaching it. And because I didn't have much maneuverability to work with, it took me a few attempts to get the approach right. I even managed to avoid the spray and hit the dash ring behind it on one occasion, but eventually I managed to time everything right and unlocked the toxic colour scheme. I might have gone on to collect a few more spray cans through trial and error on the courses I hadn't collected them on, but as I browsed the challenges menu, I found one for completing Honeycomb Hollow without touching any honey. It didn't sound so bad as long as I took it slow, so I went straight onto it. And it honestly wasn't. That is, every prison was easy to reach and destroy, except the one floating in the middle, which I just could not find an angle to attack properly. I have no idea how I managed to complete this with a time limit in the Lightning Cup, even without the challenge in mind, because it took me 4.5 minutes here. Guess I must have just gone lucky with that central one the first time around. My reward was a buzz bomber. The next challenge I attempted was to beat Carnival Knight in first while chased by an SPB. This was a complete failure, a total write-off, because while you can do this in match race and avoid the Grand Prix, I had forgotten to turn on any CPU races in my match race to be in first against. I probably would not have even mentioned it if it wasn't for the fact that I snagged another spray can here. Taffy. Silver linings, I guess? Or should it be pink linings? For the last challenge of the day, I didn't need to do any more racing. Instead, all I needed to do was go into passwords and enter the name of the most infamous obstacle in Carnival Night. Still, I haven't got around to playing Sonic 3, so with all of the power of naivety and hindsight behind me, I can say that you were all idiots for getting stuck in this. And on that final insult, I can now say thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Next episode, I'll be racing on the Egg Cup, and hoping Whisper doesn't pull off a performance equal to her work here. For now though, ciao.